It was the year 2011 when Notch first introduced the map to Minecraft, but I mean, look at it, it's pretty boring. So then some fine redstone lads such as Setbling and Codecrafted made maps interesting, making enormous redstone machines with pre-programmed images or allowing you to illustrate on the map. But the way maps worked across versions is as inconsistent as my crappy transatlantic accent, so many of these map illustrators no longer work in the newer versions.
Until now. Like, 7 years later. So yeah, I made a map painter. Isn't that like the most insane thing ever? And this because we had 2,000 subscribers. That's a huge milestone. So we gotta compliment that with a humongous redstone build. Now this took me like 3 days to make. First day, I learned how maps work, built some of it. Second day, completely started over because it was pretty overcomplicated the way I did it before. And then yesterday, I worked on these inputs and doing all of that. So yeah, here we are now with our beautiful map painter. So we have our menu over here, we have our movement controls, we have our draw button, our fill tool, and our confirm color. So when you download this world, which I'll explain later, you'll spawn in this room, get this shulker box, and oh boy, we got the color picker, my face, and a map. So there we go, and we have a 30 by 30 pixel area, and our cursor is this little red square here. Now you have an optional item frame if you want to do this, but you get the annoying green player thing there, which is stupid. Come on, Mojang, like, do you really need this? And it covers so much of the map, like, my god. So I won't be using that for that video because, you know, it's gonna cover up a lot of stuff. So let's go over the basic controls of this. So if we just look to the right over here in this little ring of redstone lamps, as you can see, white is selected right now. And if we go in our color picker, that is indeed true, white is selected. So if we just kind of scroll over and let's say, I don't know, we want to pick brown. How about we make my face in this thing? So where is brown? I have no idea where it is. So come on, there it is. And we confirm the color. So you heard a note block noise, so this will go on for about 20 seconds. So basically what it's doing, if we just look at the direction I'm pointing on the map, it is loading all of the pixels and changing them so then when you hit the draw button, it will draw brown and not like red, like the cursor. So it's loading from the bottom left all the way to the top right. So the moment that this is done, that means the most top right pixel has been loaded. So the waiting times does vary depending on where your cursor is and what you want to draw. So enough of that stupid explanation that I'll explain later. So let's just push this red button. Oh boy, what's happening? And nothing. Oh no, Crafty, it doesn't work. What are you talking about? Well, guess what? That's just because the cursor's on top. We move it to the right, and boom, we get a brown pixel. Let me just put it on there so we can see. That is a... I don't know why I moved closer to the mic. That is a brown pixel right there. So now we can draw my face. How about we draw this little thing over here? We'll make a 5x5 area just to describe all the functionalities of this, because why not? So how about we do it to the left side of my player just so the icon doesn't get in the way. So now we're going to go here and draw a second brown pixel. Do that and move to the left. There we go. So moving the cursor takes exactly 4 seconds, and then coloring anything takes around 5 to 10 seconds depending on lag and all of those things. So we have 2 red pixels, so boom, that's our third one. Come on, it's a little bit laggy. There we go. So how many is that? That's kind of hard to see if we just look. That's okay, that's 3. So this is gonna be our 4th one. There we go. Let me just look at this. And this one's gonna be our 5th one. So we're gonna do that. And we're gonna move it up. Look at that, so cool. And there we go. So now we're going to color it red. Now that's the one problem with this. The cursor is gonna still stay red even if the color that it's gonna color is red. So now let's just change this to red, which is all the way over here. We confirm color. This is gonna start loading. We just have to wait a little bit since this is pretty close to the bottom left corner. And guess what? We have this nifty loading animation. So yeah, the diagonal has gone way above where we have to color. So we can color that. And there we go. Come on, get that other red dot to disappear. So yeah, we just colored that pixel red. Now let's just move that to the left. So now we're gonna have 2 cursors. Yeah, there we go. It's gonna look like that. And this is changed to red. Lots of stuff has happened. So yeah, now we should probably color the other eye red before we switch to brown again. So let me go on top of that. 1 and 2. There we go. And let's color that red like that. and let's just move to the left so the cursor just appears in the middle. So now we have a bar of 3 red, but one of those is the cursor. So now I'm just going to change the color to brown, and I'm going to complete this little Crafty Masterman icon thing, and then, I don't know, I'll just speed this part up so you can sort of still see the process. So here we are in the time lapse a little bit further, and as you can see, we did all of the brown part of my face except for 1 pixel, but we'll just cover that when we do the grass part later. So now, yeah, let's do that. We're going to do the grass part of my head, and then we'll all be complete. So yeah, there we go. That took me quite a while, but we are done. We have made the Crafty Masterman little icon thing that is on the back over there. So now if you want to kind of view the whole thing, you just take that away, and you push this button here, which basically shows you all the redstone and all that stuff. So yeah, look at that little Crafty Masterman icon looking pretty cool. And if you just want to wipe the whole thing, you turn this to white, which it already is, and we fill it, and it's going to clear everything. Look at that. And it's all gone. Now, there's one more thing I want to show, which is the fill tool. You can basically fill it to any color you want, so let's just do brown, confirm the color, and this time we do have to wait for this entire thing to actually load, so all the pixels fill properly. I have tested it and tried to fill it while it processes, and it kind of does a really messy thing where it fills half of the colors with one thing and then half the other colors with another thing. It's just really weird. And we fill this, and hopefully if I don't get a lag spike, we'll get that really cool animation. Look at that. The fill is surprisingly fast when the game doesn't lag. And you know, there is this circular area, and that basically tells you the area of what can load within your room. But if you do need to load the corners, we have this load map cart over here. We just push this, get in the cart, and boom, we will start loading all the pixels in the map. And yeah, the minecart is actually pretty loud, so I don't know, maybe I'll lower that in post. I don't know, because then my voice will also get quieter. But yeah, minecart's pretty loud. Sorry for that annoying minecart noise. I'll just keep talking over the minecart noise. I don't know if that's gonna make it any better. So yeah, we are approaching our last corner over there. So there we go. Come on. We're almost there. Come on, I gotta explain how the redstone works still. There we go. And now it has been loaded. And we're gonna go back into our little hub. Minecart gets broken by this cactus, and there we go. Dropper noise puts it into this dispenser over here. So yeah, that is basically everything about this map painter. So now we're gonna go in F5 mode. I'm about to tell you and show you what the redstone looks like. So before we look at this redstone, I'm just gonna warn you, I have no idea how the YouTube video compression is going to deal with this, because there's a lot of different colors in one area. And here it is. Oh boy, you Crafty Masterman, this doesn't look that bad. What do you mean it's gonna kill the compression? Oh my god, what is happening? Jesus, my eyes, there's so many colors. Ah, look away, look away. Okay, I'm gonna do that. You may be thinking, how the heck does this colored, disgusting eyesore of a build turn into a white 30 by 30 square? How does that even happen? Well, we need to go into a little bit of map mechanics. Now this is just 1 pixel of the entire thing. Now it's not like 1 pixel with all the circuitry. It's only 1 pixel, and it only has like the main bulk of the circuit, which is the color selection, and it's actually pretty small. Like, this is all the things that change the color of the pixel. Now how this works, if we just pull out this chest over here, this is the actual map that contains this pixel over here. If we just kind of move out, as you can see, this pixel behind me is black. Now the reason it's black is because the type of map we are using is a 1:8 map. So that means an 8x8 area equals to 1 pixel. Now the way maps determine what color they want to display on the map, they look at the blocks in that pixel and they check which is the block that appears the most. In this case, it is black because there's 1 black here, 2, 3, 4, and there's a 5th one down there. And if we look at the other colors, there's, oh boy, orange 1, 2, 3, 4, magenta 1, 2, 3, 4, with the only exceptions being red, lime, and blue. They also have 5 colors, but because they are RGB, for some reason it works. Don't know why, it just works. I kind of just filled those 3 holes with that. So yeah, all the 15 colors that this map painter uses is in this little 8x8 area. Now I could have done 4x4, but the redstone is too big to fit in a 4x4, and as you can see, if we just look at this, these things are already pretty tightly together, as you can tell. They're only 1 block apart on 1 axis. Like, look at this, only 1 block of space between them. So yeah, that is how it displays a color. Now, how do we change the color? So if we go over here, we have a bunch of pistons with a bunch of concrete, and that is basically how we change the color. We push different amounts of concrete under that gap. So if we just go over here, and we make it, I don't know, orange. So different things will happen if the signal strength goes up and down. So if the signal strength goes up, that's the easier of the two. As you can see, all of these torches go over here, they turn off, but because it was black, this is the piston that has been extended. But this piston isn't extended for some reason, and that is because these blocks over here, they used to have a piece of glass in front of them, and they're trying to push, but there's an immovable object. Once we remove that, they are still trying to push, but they don't realize they are powered yet. So this is like a sort of bud situation over here. And to solve that, we have this button. So we push this button, all of the pistons are tracked, and all of the pistons extend, and they update. So now if we just, no, that's the wrong map. If we move away from the pixel, as you can see, now it is orange. Wow, look at that. It works. It's like the system that works in the video works, because as you can see, it's orange. Now when the signal strength goes down, it's a little bit different. So let's go down to yellow. As you can see, more torches have turned on and off. Let's see, where is it? So yeah, all of these torches have turned on down here, but as you can see, they're not pushing because there's a piece of, there's a furnace there. I was going to say obsidian. Doesn't matter, it's still immovable, it cannot push. So that's why we have these observers next to every single one of these pistons. So then when they retract, when we push the button, it will immediately update these pistons and push glass in front. So let's just look at the red one, for instance. So actually, which ones can we look at? Okay, let's look at the magenta one. So if we do this, as you can see, that happened. Now, it didn't happen to those ones. Those aren't the right pistons. But yeah, this piston over here actually extended because it got updated by this observer. Yeah, that didn't extend because the torch wasn't on. So yeah, it updated the piston. So now, if we move away, the pixel is yellow. So that is how we control the pixel. Now, how do we control which pixel we want to paint? So that is what these shift registers are for. I'm going to throw away that map and regret it. I might need it if this recording fails, but oh well. So we have a shift register to control where the which pixel we want to color. So if we just move away just so we can see where the cursor is not in the bottom left, but 1 pixel to the right of the bottom left. And over here we have a shift register on the y-axis, I believe. Yeah, it will make it go left, I think. I think that's how it works. So yeah, if we power the right one, it will make this piece of redstone, this signal, go towards the left. And that gets controlled by these black lines. So there's 4 of them, 1 for each direction, 1 for each of those buttons in the input section. So let's see if I can power the right one. One of the recordings, I accidentally crashed the game because I activated something else. So it should be this piston over here. So that repeater is on, that will turn off, so let's just try that. So now as you can see, this repeater is turned on, and this one has turned off. Now what it does is these pistons extend and retract, basically cutting off the signal, and this redstone pulse will briefly go through the block and through this repeater and go into the next memory cell over here, which is basically a loop with this repeater. So now if we look at where the red pixel is, it is at the bottom left. There we go. There we go. You can see that. And we just have that on the vertical as well. Now, how do we take these shift registers and actually put them into like coordinates on this thing? So if we look at where the output goes, it goes all the way into all of these rows of torches. So it activates this entire row. So if we follow the signal, there's the repeater, it goes and it activates all of these torches. As you can see, they're all turned off. Now if we look at the cyan circuit, which is the other axis, it's the exact same. It will activate all of these torches over here. Now, as you can see, this torch is on, but this torch is off. Now, why is that? Well, that's because we basically use an AND gate. So if we go here, it powers this block, this torch turns off, and that will allow this torch to turn on. Now, by default, this cyan circuit is on, so if we look at the other ones, they are on, but when it is powered, turns off this torch, turns off this, and therefore this is off and this is off, which allows this to turn on. And the cursor is not this red block, it used to be that, but then I had to change it. We follow this, and we just follow this green signal all the way to the top. There we go. There is a red block being pushed in front, and we get our red pixel, which you can't see, I'm covering it. Wow, I'm big brain. And yeah, that is how we get our cursor to work. Now, how do we paint stuff? So the way we paint stuff is when you power that red button over yonder, there's all of these instant repeaters. The signal goes through this pink line. Now what this pink line does is it activates every single one of the pixels in the thing. Well, it tries to activate every single one of the pixels. That's why I said it takes like 5 to 10 seconds. It can either activate this closest one or the farthest one all the way on the opposite corner. Now as you can see, there's a repeater going into this block, and this happens to be where the cursor is. So if there's a block in front, that means the cursor is there. It'll go through here, this blue line, and it is this blue circuit is the exact same blue circuit as that blue circuit over there, which updates the color. So when it activates that blue circuit, it will update that color and it will change it to the color. I am losing track. Where am I? Down here. This is where I'm supposed to be. So yeah, it'll activate this. And it'll also go through this instant repeater, and it goes all the way. It tries to activate all of these, but if there's a block in front, then it actually will activate. So that is how we actually paint. Now, how do we fill every single one of the pixels? Well, that's also pretty easy. We take this blue circuit, again, the button's all the way over there. It goes all the way over here. The blue line goes up here, and this blue line goes into this purple line. What this purple line does is that it actually does activate every single one of these blue circuits directly. So as you can see, there's a repeater there. Let me just find a better space. Come on, this is annoying. So there's a repeater there, a repeater there, a repeater there, a repeater there. You kind of get the idea, and we get that diagonal like sweeping pattern because first it activates like this, goes all the way to that end, and every single one of these rows have another row that activates all the way to that end. So we do get a diagonal sweeping pattern. So that is how the fill tool works. Now, what else am I missing? I'm pretty sure. Oh no, the color changing. That's also pretty important. So how the color changing works, like I said, we just increase the signal strength of the red circuit. So the lectern is connected via this green line, which is actually an instant comparator, and that goes all the way up here, and it powers this red circuit, which is basically just a giant comparator line that powers every single one of these red things. So that is how we change it. Now let's look at the actual inputs. Let me just get my night vision. So over here we have our inputs, and it looks really convoluted and stuff. Now let's start with the directions. How do the directions work? So all of these buttons actually go in the exact same line. Now the reason they do that is because each one of these buttons give off a different signal strength. So I'm not going to explain how, but they just do. So depending on what signal strength this redstone is, it'll go into this comparator and it will activate one of these torches. Now this is a redstone decoder. I made sure it was 1.16 proof, so there we go. This will work in 1.16 hopefully. I haven't tested it yet, so yeah, there we go. So it'll turn on one of these torches, which, like I said earlier, it will turn on one of those shift register black lines over there. So that is how the directions work. And here is the paint tool. It'll activate this note block. So the red button is behind this black block. It's going to activate this note block, go through here, and it's going to give a 4-tick pulse. And like I said, it's going to go through that instant line and do what I said it's going to do earlier. And now we have the fill. Like I said, it's just pretty easy. Just a button. There's a button behind this white, goes through this blue line, and there you go, instant repeater. Now the color changer is pretty complicated. Everything you see in lime is involved in the color changer. Now these command blocks, they don't actually serve any function. All they do is that they change the block over here. So in the demonstration, how that changed blocks, that's all these command blocks do. They don't serve anything major. They just make this thing like easier to use and more interactive. So how this works is when you push the confirm button, this comparator over here is reading the output from that lectern. So it's going to retract this block here. So that block is going to retract. The comparator will power through that block. And that's going to go into this comparator signal strength memory cell kind of thing. If we press F3, you look on the right where it says targeted block redstone wire. It says it has a power level of 1. Now, basically how we change the signal strength is also when you push the button, it'll turn on this torch, it will shut off this loop, and then when this will retract and extend again, it will send the new signal strength information into this loop. And that signal strength information goes into this red coder, which is an RS NOR latch, and this doesn't really matter, that's just to change the block over there in the selected color. Most importantly, it goes into this instant comparator over here. Now, I don't really know the technical stuff, but basically how this works is the comparators go and these observers update the comparators at the same time. So somehow that makes the comparators instant. Again, I didn't make this. This was Samos the Sage. I guess I'll link that so if I remember. So yeah, he made this instant comparator design. And I had to slightly change it so it would be 1.16 proof. So this is a lot fatter than it is in his video. So yeah, that is basically it in terms of the redstone. And then this minecart track is kind of just extending. So it goes to the points where it loads the entire map. So yeah, that is basically all the redstone that I can think of for this thing. And I don't know, I guess the one last thing, that button has a TP command to teleport you to that glass platform. So yeah. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. That is basically all the redstone in this massive thing. This thing was so fun. Like, you should have seen my reaction when I saw 1 pixel work. It was beautiful. I was so excited. So yeah. Now in terms of world downloads, this is going to be in my Discord server. This singular pixel is going to be here with a chest that had that map. Yeah, I will put that map back in that chest for the world download. So yeah, this will be a download on my Discord server, but you have to be level 5 on my server just to prevent people from just going on my server, getting a download, and then leaving, because that's happened a lot. This is only starting recently because, I don't know, it's really annoying when people just join my server and then immediately leave. So yeah, if you want to download this, just talk a bit on my server, get level 5, and then you'll get the map downloads channel. Well, you're gonna get all the other map downloads I've made. So yeah, hope you enjoyed F5 mode. This was my 2,000 subscriber special. I hope this build is as big as my subscriber count. Goodbye.